Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Tuesday, the 12th of October 2021, and we're producing our Tuesday morning gold and silver price update, forecast and daily news. Today we see that Evergrande has defaulted again, now for a third time, and we look to see if this can and is perhaps already affecting equity markets. Also, the UK seems poised to raise interest rates as early as this year. So let's take a look. Welcome to Illuminati Silver. It's Tuesday, the 12th of October 2021 at 10:07 a.m. GMT +1. Weather this morning, tranquil but subdued. In other words, everything is calm, but it has a sort of undertone of mild oppression. And those living in the United Kingdom may suffer a degree of depression, not necessarily oppression, if the headlines are to be believed. Currency traders are betting the Bank of England is about to make a mistake. Now let's look at this because, as we've often said, sterling, in other words the British pound, is part of that all-essential basket of currencies at which the dollar index forms part. And what happens to sterling, what happens to the euro, what happens to the yuan have effects on the US dollar too. Today, this article was published by Bloomberg. BOE officials double down on signals of imminent rate hike, and then we'll have a look as to why some think it's an error. Two Bank of England officials moved to reinforce signals of an imminent rise in UK interest rates to curb inflation, with one telling households to brace for a significantly earlier increase than previously thought. Michael Saunders, one of the most hawkish members of the Monetary Policy Committee, suggested in remarks published on Saturday that investors were right to bring forward bets on rate hikes. Hours earlier, Governor Andrew Bailey warned of a potentially very damaging period of inflation unless policymakers take action. And now, today, we see bets against the pound are intensifying amid speculation that any Bank of England efforts to curb inflation would darken the outlook for growth and consumer sentiment. Speculators ramped up wagers on sterling's decline at the fastest rate in more than 2 years. Commodity Futures Trading Commission data show further breaking the link between anticipated rate increases and currency gains. Meanwhile, strategists at Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, RBC Europe Limited, and Société Générale SA are bracing for the pound to slump to levels last seen in late 2020. Money markets increased their expectations for Bank of England tightening this week, anticipating a 15 basis point increase in December and another 50 basis points by June. That would bring the central bank's key rate to 0.75% from 0.1% currently. Yet the prospect of several rate hikes is raising concern that rapid policy tightening will hurt confidence among consumers already grappling with soaring energy prices and supply chain disruptions. It's all happening faster than forecast, said Kit Ukes, chief foreign exchange strategist at Société Générale, who sees the pound falling towards $1.32 in the coming weeks. If the Bank of England tightens into the teeth of a slowdown, it could quite quickly be seen as a mistake. Now, as at this morning, sterling is $1.35. Now, this is important because in relative terms, this is going to increase the value of the dollar. Not necessarily because the dollar will strengthen on its own, but because other currencies will weaken against it. And this will not necessarily be good for gold and silver prices, although ironically, those of us in the UK could potentially see the value of gold going up in sterling terms while it's going down in dollar terms, and the same with silver. We have to watch this quite carefully. There are other headlines, but we won't go into them now. But UK payrolls rise above pre-COVID levels with record hiring. Norway's outgoing government flags cut in oil wealth spending. And we have situations concerning the coronavirus. Hong Kong to let fully vaccinated take off masks at the gym. However, Zimbabwe's dollar risks collapsing, business lobby says, which is why some of these, shall we say, third world countries have been looking at Bitcoin and similar, and we can see that Bitcoin currently is within sight of record highs. Bitcoin is flirting with a run towards its all-time high after jumping more than 90% since a low in July. The largest cryptocurrency was trading little changed above $57,000 as at 10:07 a.m. in London, some $7,700 shy of its April record. Some exciting things ahead. Looking at the business news for the United Kingdom, or at least what's published by the BBC, Prime Minister expected to back loans for gas price hit firms. UK job vacancies reached 20-year high. Little room for budget spending, says think tank. And China coal price hits fresh high after flooding. So there we've got a problem with gas, and now we could have one with coal. In the United States, US couple accused of selling nuclear sub-secrets. Elk with tie around neck for 2 years is freed. Interpreter rescued, Biden leaves Afghanistan. But the piece of information that we really like, Star Trek's Shatner on his plan to boldly go to space. As we've said before, we're a great fan of the Star Trek program. And this guy is 90 years old. Look at him. Now, no doubt, we're assuming that he's had some treatment. But at 90, does he look good or what? Star Trek actor William Shatner has been explaining why he wants to go into space as part of a 4-person crew aboard Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin company has pushed the launch of its New Shepard craft to Wednesday because of high winds. It's set to be the rocket's second human spaceflight. What a wonderful end to someone's career, having began it as the fictitious captain of the Starship Enterprise, and then ending, or at least reaching the latter part of his life, perhaps not ending quite so soon, but reaching the latter part of his life, actually going into space. However, one thing that may not be going into space will be the equity market if what Reuters produced actually comes about. Evergrande misses the third round of bond coupon payments, intensifying contagion fears. China Evergrande Group on Tuesday missed its third round of bond payments in 3 weeks, intensifying market fears over contagion, involving other property developers as well as a wall of debt payment obligations coming due in the near term. What will that do for the equity markets? Arguably may not be good. Dollar index at the moment, just very marginally down, but still well above 94 at 94.3. Oil prices broadly unchanged over the last 24 hours, with WTI crude at 80.54 and Brent crude at 83.79. Equity markets, Asia Pacific overnight, broadly down between more or less 0.75% and 1.5%. European and UK markets down 0.5%. So we can see the sort of trend of where markets are going. Economic news, well, nothing scheduled yesterday because it was Columbus Day. Today we have the NFIB Small Business Index for September, forecasted to come out at about 100. Job openings for August expected to be at about 10.9 million. And the median expected 3-year inflation rate for September it was previously 4%. We don't think any of this information is going to have much of a bearing on the markets, with tomorrow and Friday and perhaps Thursday's producer price index having more of an impact. Gold prices up nearly $4 at $1,758. Silver prices up 2 cents at $22.59. We said at the start of the week we're not going to expect any major moves until the latter end of the week, and even then much will depend on the economic data. But of course, with Evergrande now defaulting again, this may affect equity markets, which will have its own knock-on effect potentially on the dollar and gold and silver prices. Crypto markets down 1%, but still with a market cap of 2.3 trillion. So it's steady as she goes at the moment. Tranquil, to use our weather expression. Let's see if that continues. Our view, nothing particularly exciting until probably Thursday, Friday. Thank you so much for listening. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, press the bell sign. Have a great day. Illuminati Silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice and merely represent the personal views of its owners.